Well, hello. Today is Saturday, March 18th, and we have some birthdays today. Today is Tina Tedder's birthday, Tedder, Tina. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tina. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Sunlin, S-O-N-L-I-N, Sunlin. So Sunlin, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sunlin. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Sunlin. I'm sure I'm saying your name wrong, and I so apologize. But it's also Janet Geck, G-U-E-C-K, and she told me to pronounce it G-E-K. So Janet, it's your birthday, and I probably still messed up your name, but it's still your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Janet. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope all three of you have a great birthday, and hopefully I didn't mess up your names too bad. I've already been to the store, went to Kroger's, and took Jim with me. Sometimes that's a mistake. But I spent $233.01. I didn't do a grocery haul, but my receipt, you can't even read it. It's got the thing. And I usually pack my own, but I had a bagger today, and I bring my own bags because I'm very environmentally friendly because I like to save the planet. So I bring my own bags, and I usually pack my own bag. But he insisted he wanted to pack. I don't know why it was so much different than a plastic bag than a regular canvas bag, because he put my tomatoes on the bottom of the bag, and then he put the canned goods on top of the tomatoes, and it was, and you know what? The tomatoes were fine. I don't know how they survived the trip, but they did not get smashed or smushed or anything, squashed. They were fine. You couldn't tell that he had them at the bottom of the bag. But he did put my eggs in a completely separate bag. I bought 36 eggs. I bought 2 packs of 18. I don't like the new cartons that they're using at our store because it doesn't clip shut. They're kind of loose. And so I was taking them out, and I went to look to see, because I always look to see if there's cracked eggs. And the package got away from me, and 2 of the eggs fell out and broke on the ground. And so I was looking for something, because I was going to clean it up myself, but there was nothing around to clean it up. So I had to go over to the meat department to ask the meat guy. I said, I know it's not your department, but if you can direct me in the right direction, I'll clean it up myself. I said, but I dropped a couple eggs. They fell out of the carton. And he says, that's okay. I'll get it. And so I said, okay. So then I went and finished my shopping in that area, and he had cleaned up the eggs. And I went up to him, and I said, once again, I apologize. He said, you know what? Eggs break all day long. It's because of those crappy cartons that they're in. I says, oh, okay. Because even after I dropped the 2 eggs, when I was being even all that much more cautious, I still found cracked eggs. So, but I did manage to find some eggs that were fine. I don't even know how much they were. I'm trying to see how much the eggs were. I didn't even look because I knew we needed them. So, I think I had more to the back. I don't know. So then I'm going to make Mexi Melts for my dinner tonight. And Jim's not a big fan of Mexi Melts. And so he said that he saw me at the meat counter, and he says, oh, those look interesting. So he got some barbecued wings. So we're going to pop those in the oven. Did she not charge me for my eggs? Because I do not see them on here. And then the butter, they didn't have any 1-pound packages. They had packages of 2 1-pound packages together. And I had a coupon for 70 cents off. And she didn't charge me for my eggs. Anyway, I had a coupon for 70 cents off, and they wouldn't take it. They wouldn't accept it because it was on a 1-pound package, not a double package. So I thought, well, whatever. So it's not like I won't ever use it again. Now I'm just kind of curious why they didn't charge me for the... And then the roasts were on sale. Of course, you know what? It was buy one, get one free, but one roast, I think it was like 2.5 pounds, was $19.66. And then I always try to get one that's really close to that price because I want to get the same. I don't want to get pay $19 for one and then get the $12 one for free. I'm going to get 2 $19 ones. And so the other one was, that one was $19.66. The other one I found was $19.56. So I got a good deal on that. And I still don't see, I'm going, I know. Bear with me, please. because I'm just kind of curious how much my eggs were. And then they wouldn't take my coupon for the cheese because they said that I already used the digital coupon and you can't use both. And so she did not charge me for the eggs. I got 36 eggs for free and I broke 2. So I got 38 eggs for free. I'll have to go back and... Now, I will go back. Next time I'm there, I will tell them that I wasn't charged. I will tell them and they will not charge me. But I'll feel better knowing that I told them that they didn't charge me. Because you know what? If they overcharge me for something, I'd be bringing the receipt up there and saying, you know, you charged me for this too much. So I will bring the receipt and go pay for the eggs. I'm sure they were probably like $5 for the 18, if not more. So it's like $10 at least. So, but then we did that. I got a roast. Like I said, I got the roast. We're going to have a roast tomorrow, Jim and I. It was so big, I just cut it in half. So I got 4 roasts for $20. So $5 each. I think that's not too bad for a meal. That's my thought. And then it's so cold. It's so cold out there. It was like, yesterday it was, well, you saw me the last couple of days. I didn't even wear a coat. It was so nice. I mean, in Michigan, if you hit the 40s, the high 40s, low 50s, it's like you're having a heat wave, tropical heat. It's like really warm. So I was really digging on that. I'm telling you, I was really liking it. And so then today when we were going out there, and as soon as the garage door opened and that big burst of wind come whoosh, and then I thought, it's chilly out here. I almost went back in the house to get my hat. I did wear my mittens. So it's that cold. I haven't even tested to see how whooshy the sound is for my opening because it was really windy and really, really cold. But then next week it's supposed to be in the 50s. So Monday's the first day of spring. So the nice weather is going to start coming upon us. I know that. And then other than that, I don't have any. I'm going to try a new series on Apple that I read some reviews. It's called Bad Sisters. It's from Ireland. It's a mini. I think it's the 2nd season, so I can binge watch that. Yesterday I watched The Boston Strangler on Hulu. It was okay. Yeah, I remember my grandmother living through that, and when she'd call my dad would be so worried. Don't open the door for anybody, and all that, because she lived in the area pretty much where the stranglings were going on. And it really was a different time. Like you had people come in your house, somebody could tell you something and you just believed them. Nowadays, we're so suspicious of everything, which is probably good, but it's kind of bad. When I was growing up, you never locked your front door. You never locked your doors. You sat out on the porch at night and just talked to your neighbors because there was no air conditioning and it was hot. We never had air conditioning, but my mother once, I always teased my mom. As soon as I left, she got everything. She's like, okay, Sandy's gone. Let's go hog wild and get everything that we ever wanted. She got not a built-in pool. She got a big pool that took up the whole backyard. I never had a pool when I was growing up. It was when I got married and moved away. We got a pool. She got a pool table. Never had a pool table. Never had a pool table. They went to a trip down to Disney, went to Disney World. Her and Pat and Mary and Denise and my mom. Sandy didn't go. I didn't get all that. Where was I coming with this? Oh, so we didn't have air conditioning. But after I left, we got air conditioning. Not central air. They had air conditioning in the windows. And we lived in a bungalow. And so let me tell you, it gets hot in the 2nd floor of a bungalow because all the heat rises anyhow. And it was hot. But my mother had bought a room air conditioner for her bedroom and a room air conditioner for Mike and Pat's room because they shared a room, and a room air conditioner for the upstairs. I lived in an upper flat and it was hot because there was no air conditioning. We had fans. We'd open up the window and put the fan in the window. That was our air conditioning. But anyway, we went to the Cottage one year and it was like so hot. And we rented a very small cottage. It was really tiny. It had which was really just the front porch, but you could close they had shutters for the windows. You had to go outside and close the shutters. There wasn't really like a window. It was like a shutter. And first thing I'd pack every time I went was a crib. I'd take the crib down and I'd pack it in the car, and we would pack around it. And whatever didn't fit didn't come. That crib was coming because my babies were going to sleep the night because I was not going to be up because they couldn't get to sleep. So I would always sleep on the porch, out in the front porch, which only had a couch and like a little end table. And we took the end table out to put the crib in, and it had like a little path to walk into the little house. And the house was super small. It just had one room, and in that one room was the kitchen and the the dining room, all of the combination of everything with a tiny little sink and a tiny little stove and a tiny little fridge. And then it had like a Mother Hubbard cupboard. I don't know what they're called. What are they called? You know, like it's like a little pantry cupboard, and it has like the drawers, and you keep the silverware in it, and you keep everything went in there because there was no cupboards. That was it. And then we bought what we called clickety-click chairs, which were those old-time Chase lounges. Like they would fold flat, and then when you'd fold them in, and they'd go click, 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 and then you'd fold in the legs, and then you could carry them. It would be compact. But then at night, those were the beds. So they used them during the day on the beach. You know, like that's where they would carry them down to the beach because we'd spend the whole day at the beach because there was no room in the cottage to stay in the cottage. We dreaded when it was raining. And they had one bedroom, and in the bedroom it had a double bed. That was my mother's bed. And my mother slept alone. Nobody slept with my mother. My mother slept alone. And then it had a bathroom with just like this tiny, tiny little walk-in shower that you just barely fit in, and then a toilet and a sink. And that was it. That was an improvement because they had to add that on because before, which was then became the shed, was the outhouse. So when we first started going, when I was little, we had to use an outhouse. That is awful. That's awful. My cousin Lynn, her cottage, she has an outhouse. And so she'll always say, you want to come up to the cottage? And she's got two cottages. And one's cottage is like really rustic and it has an outhouse. And the other cottage has a bathroom. And so I said, well, as long as it's the one that has the bathroom, that's the one I'll go to. Because I don't know. Even when we're traveling, when we're going through the UP, the Upper Peninsula, if we stop at a rest stop and it's an outhouse, I have to really think twice if I really have to go that bad. It's just like, they're awful. They're just awful. But anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, so the rooms were so tiny, tiny, tiny that once the chairs, all kids had to go to the bathroom, get their drink of water or whatever there was, because once the chairs were set up, you were not getting out. You were not getting out of the house unless you climbed over everybody else to get out of the cottage, because it was a tight fit. We had, I don't think that thing was more than maybe 700 square feet, if that, and I think I'm really giving it a lot, saying it's 700 square feet, because I don't even think it was that much. I really don't. But anyway, I would go with my 3 kids, and then Diane would go with her 3 kids, so that's 6. Mary and Denise would go, that's 8. My mother would be 9. We always brought somebody for Jimmy, because Jimmy needed to be occupied, so that would be 10. Then my sister would come with her 2 kids, so that's 3, that's 12, right? 10, 13. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. No, I think there was at least 13 of us. Oh, and then my nephew Mike would come. We would always bring Mike. So there was like at least 15 of us in this tiny little cottage. So this one year, it was like an unbearably hot summer. And the first night we were there, my kids slept the whole night. But everybody else, because they all lived in air-conditioned houses or bedrooms or whatever, one by one was coming through the porch to go outside, one by one. My mother even went outside, but she went out because there was a door through the bathroom. She would go out through the bathroom. Some of them would lead out through the bathroom back door, and some of them would lead out through the porch. And myself and my 3 kids, well, the baby, of course, because the baby was in the crib, we slept the whole night. We had no problems. And then we'd get up in the morning and they'd all be like dragging ass outside. And we'd say, well, what's the problem? We got a good night's sleep. Let's eat breakfast. Let's go down to the beach. So we go down to the beach and they would take their clickety-click chairs, because that's what we called them, clickety-click chairs. And they would set them up and then they'd take a nap on the beach because there was trees down by the beach. And they would take a little nap. My kids would be playing in the water, building sandcastles. They didn't need no stinking nap. They slept the whole night because they were used to the heat and depression of summer. But anyway, I'm looking forward to that. Although we have central air, and it drives me crazy because we keep our thermostat right at 69. Although I turned it down to 68. We've talked about that before. But Jim in the summer thinks that this has got to be a freezer in here, wrapped up in blankets, and I go outside just to warm up. It's like, I don't need it that cold. It's like, and as much as I like to be environmental friendly and save the planet, Jim doesn't take that into consideration. He just wants to be cool, and not hot. So, anyway, my new plan to work in, my new plan, it's still the same plan, but my new idea, that's not even the right way to put it either. Yeah, that's my new plan. Next week is to go back to when I first started the first week of not weighing myself. because I've noticed myself, although you haven't pointed it out, I don't know why, but you should have, that my portion sizes are slowly getting back, because my breakfast, when you see it, is like really fruit laden heavy. And I think one other day this week it was kind of fruit heavy too. And I can see that I'm starting to go back to my old bigger portion sizes. And so I'm really going to be aware of it. I guess that's a better way of putting it. I'm going to be really more aware of it in the coming week, my portion sizes. I realized this time around, the first time around, I wanted to lose my weight really fast. I just was on a mission. I was going to lose my 100 pounds. I was going to get into Wonderland, and this was all going to happen, and nothing was going to stop me. And I got to like 96 pounds, and I was like rolling along in that. And then when I realized how much farther I had to go to get to goal, that the doctor and Weight Watchers both were saying, I kind of lost a little steam in my engine. I just thought, oh, this is taking too long. I'm just going to live my life. How many times have I said that? I'm just going to live my life and not worry about it. And then living my life and not worrying about it got me almost to 50 pounds gained. So now, the second time around here, which is more than the second time, my whole life I've been up and down and up and down, but I consider this the second dedicated time. Because my first really dedicated time was in 2016, or 2017. I keep saying 16 because I joined on December 31st, 2016. But really, I didn't really start the plan until 2017. So for the last 6 years, I've been like really rushing it. And now it's like I am going to live my life, but I'm going to realize that it's going to take longer. I'm 6 years older, but I'm not deeper in debt. I'm better about that. But I'm 6 years older, and I'm just realizing that it's going to take as long as it takes. It just is. And where am I going? I plan on being here for another 20 or 30 years, and so I'm in no big hurry to get to that magic number of Wonderland. I want to get there. Don't get me wrong. I want to get there. But I think when I accept the fact that it's not going to happen as quickly as I like, and that it's going to take as long as it takes, it's just going to take as long as it takes, and rushing it's not going to make it come any faster. If I try to rush it, try to have huge losses, which we've seen in the past, if I really go like almost starve myself for the week and lose 3 or 4 pounds, I usually have a gain the following week, and it's because I can't sustain that lifestyle. So I am balancing on a lifestyle that I can sustain for the rest of my life. I know that Weight Watchers is going to having the pills and stuff like that, completely going against everything that they've taught in the past. I'm sticking with Weight Watchers for now, just because unless the meeting things they seem to speak to me each week. Granted, it seems repetitive, like I've been there and heard that before. But, like when you've gone for 6 years, you can only say how to lose weight so many times. I was watching Kim and a girl on her phone, and one of the pointers, and she even scoffed when she said it, was, you just need to eat less. Duh. Calories in, calories out. Duh. We know all of that. But, sometimes you need to be reminded of it. You just do. I mean, it's like something you just have to be reminded. So somebody throws you into the pool, you might not remember right off how to swim because you're panicking because you're in the deep end. But then if something clicks and you go, oh yeah, that's right, I have to swim if I don't want to go under. And so now I have to remember that, I have to balance what I'm eating if I want to lose weight. And so that's my plan. And just, it takes as long as it takes. It takes as long as it takes. That's all I can say. And nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. Me, especially, I don't want to hear that. That's just not something I want to hear. But it's a fact, especially for me, that it's a lot slower this time. I mean, I want to lose 7 pounds during this whole experiment that I'm going through. But if I don't lose 7 pounds, I might be disappointed, but I won't be discouraged, because I really do think I'm losing at least a pound a week. I really, truly believe that I'm losing a pound a week. Now, this past week, if I was to weigh myself this week, I think I probably would have had a gain, because I ate out too many times. I chose poorly, and I know that there's healthy options on a menu. I know that. I know there are so many things that I can pick on the menu that are healthy for me. You have to accept what you know. I know me. I've been around me for so many. I've been with me my whole life. I just, wherever I go, there I am. It's like one of those things. But I know that I am never going to go and order off the healthy option menu. I just know it. I know that's kind of defeatist to say that, But I think if you accept that fact, but I do know, which I have done in the past, is I do know that when I go to the restaurant now, instead of ordering Coke or Pop or Pepsi or whatever you want to call it, I order my iced tea again. That's something that I did in the past that I can still do. I love iced tea, so I don't have a problem doing that. I've also chosen what I like on the menu and ordered it and brought half of it home. Now, sometimes that might be defeating the purpose because you're having it 2 days in a row, but I'm not having all those calories at one setting. I'm dividing it up between 2 days. And we all know that when you eat out, there's so many preservatives that you can have a weight gain just from the preservatives that they're using. Even if you eat off the healthy menu, they have to preserve that food, especially off the healthy menu, I would think, because I don't see that many people ordering off the healthy menu. I'm not saying that people don't. Please don't say that. Don't jump all over me. I'm not saying that because I know that people order off the healthy menu. But I don't think as many people order off the healthy menu as the regular menu, and so they have to use a little bit more preservatives, I think. Unless they just buy less. I don't know. But I just know that if I was to weigh myself on Monday, I probably would have a gain. And that would have thrown me off psychologically because I would have thought, oh, I had a gain. What am I going to do? Now I don't really know. I just know that, you know what? You kind of ate poorly this past week, eating out so many times. But you know what? You can start again. And you don't know what you did. So let's just let that be in the past. So that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking about it. It's just in the past. I don't have any plans of eating out in the coming weeks. Planning on staying on track. Getting back to portion control because that's kind of throwing me off a little bit. I do find that when I eat 3 meals, I'm a little bit better with my portion control. Lainey at Lainey's Life told me I need to start going to bed before midnight to get better sleep because you get better sleep if you go to bed before midnight. If I was to go to bed at 11:30, I would fall asleep right away. I know I would. I do. I fall right to sleep. But then I wake up for the day at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know how I can readjust my body to getting used to that. Maybe there's a way, but you know what? I like staying up late. I am a night person. I got up so early and went to bed so early for so many years that I'm kind of rebelling and thinking, I like to stay up late and I like to get up late. But now that the sun is coming in, because I told you I got those awful room darkening blinds that are not room darkening blinds at Lowe's. And so the sun is waking me up. But the only good thing is that with the time forward, the sun doesn't come up until about 8:10 or something like that. I can only imagine how dark it is on the East Coast, because if it doesn't come up till almost 8 o'clock here, it means it's almost 9 o'clock on the East Coast. So it's got to be really, really dark. But then I think you stay later longer. Probably. Yeah, you'd have to stay later longer. But I don't know. I just remember when my Uncle Leo came the one time, and it was in the winter, and he had come, and it got dark like at 5:30 or something like that, and he said, "Oh my gosh, this is really dark." And I said, "No," he said, "This is still kind of light at 5:30." And I go, "Yeah." And he says, "Oh, at 4:30 we're closing the blinds because it's dark." And I couldn't live like that. Or like at Alaska, or any of those places where it's like sunny for so many days that the sun never goes down. I couldn't live like that. I just couldn't. As much as I love the sun, but anyway. Okay, let me show you what I had to eat today. Just stay patient. Trust your journey. Realize it's going to take as long as it's going to take. And that'll be it. I have to think of what I'm going to do for my recipe of the week. I might do the Mexi melts that I'm making Mexi melts for dinner tonight. I think I mentioned that at the beginning of the video. That might be my recipe of the week. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And then go from there. So, but if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like button, share if you think somebody might like to see it. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay, it's time for breakfast. Gonna have some tea, grapefruit, banana, some berries, bacon and eggs, and some English muffins. Today is Saturday, March 18th. My quote is, change may not be fast, and it isn't always easy, but worth it in the long run. For breakfast, egg, berries, grapefruit, and tea, and a banana, forgot to add that, bacon, English muffin, and jelly. For dinner tonight, we're going to have some homemade Mexi melts, which this is my recipe of the week, so look for it on Wednesday. And some refried beans with a little bit of piccata sauce and some cheese. A sugar-free pudding and diet or iced tea. So my Mexi melt, my refried beans, my iced tea, my pudding, and my cheese. So that'll do it for tonight, but check out my recipe. I think I did better filming it this time.